What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Sony had a lot of live service games. I believe there's let me just look real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games, 8 games, 9 games of the 12 games are in somewhat turmoil or canceled. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about Horizon MMO appears to also have been canceled. These are rumors of right now, so we'll talk about that as well. We're also going to talk about the ex-DICE devs claim original Battlefield devs are long gone. We already knew this, but there's a video out there from Ghost Gaming, so we're going to watch his video. There's also a article talking about ex-developer says Battlefield fans should temper their expectations, right? So we're going to talk about that as well. And then we have a couple of Marvel Rival articles talking about Marvel Rivals could officially surpass Overwatch with this rumored feature. We're going to talk about Marvel Rivals leak reveals that Ghost Rider is on the way, but not the one that anyone wants. Then we're also going to talk about Marvel Rival fans have one major issue with quick play. If you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations, give you my thoughts and opinions. I hear your thoughts and opinions. We have conversation. Appreciate it very much. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. We do have a goal today. A super chat goal. I created a song for Travis. Okay. I created a song for Travis. It's a good one. At least I think it's a good one. Okay, so if you guys want to hear that song, it's up to you guys. If you guys want to hear that song, you got to get 5 super chats today. If we don't get the 5 super chats, we'll put it back in the back burner and you'll hear it another day. But we do have a song for Travis. So, how's everyone doing? What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Jason? What's going on, Robert Jones? Ron? Eclipse? Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. I'm missing Travis. What's going on? Jason, Ron, Big Mo. I already got Eclipse. All right, Jason. Roadkill. What's going on, Roadkill? I knew I was missing somebody. I was like, I know there's one other person. Travis says I'm scared now. Well, I'll be honest with you, Travis. It's a good song. I make fun of you. I do some jabs, but there's some good stuff in there as well. Right? It's all in fun. What's going on, Luke? Excuse me. I mean, I made a song for Roadkill, but he gave me a $20 super chat. I made your song for free. Even though Roadkill didn't pay me $20 to make him a song. Yeah, it's humor. Ron says 400 million makes someone care. Here's the thing. You guys are talking about what's happening with PlayStation, right? I said a long time ago, and this morning I was trying to go through my old videos, but is the song canon? It is canon, Luke. It is canon. It's very right on point of what Travis is. Okay. I even throw some Marvel Rivals references inside of it. Okay. I was trying to look at my old videos because I remember talking about God of War specifically, right? Because we didn't know anything, right? Here we are in 2025. We didn't know about any of the live service games that were happening. No live service games were out when I talked about this, right? Helldivers wasn't out yet, okay? Foam Stars wasn't out yet. We didn't know about the Spider-Man multiplayer game. We didn't know about the Horizon MMO. We didn't know about any of them. We were speculating on what they were going to make. And this is back in like 2022, end of 2022, sometime in 2023. I was trying to find the video. I remember having an argument with, I think it was Dave Rose, right? And we were talking about, I think it was Dave Rose. I hope Dave Rose is okay. I haven't seen him. If you guys have seen him in other channels, I haven't seen him since the summertime. But I think it was Dave Rose. And Dave Rose was saying that the live service games are going to be good for PlayStation. And I said, I hope they don't make their first party games in the like they put their first party games in the back burner to run these live service games and make live service games based off of their first party franchises. Since that time, we've known about The Last of Us that got canceled, the Last of Us live service game. Then we heard now just recently that they had a God of War live service game. Then we knew they had a Spider-Man multiplayer live service game as well. And here we are, right? So you've put in all this time and money instead of making these first-party titles. Now, this is me not shitting on PlayStation in any way, shape, or form. We're just talking about what has happened since when they announced the 12 live service games. When they first announced it, they said 12 live service games in the next 3 to 4 years. This is what 2022 going to 2026. Then somewhere between that time and now, they said, well, we're not doing 12 live service games. We're only going to focus on 6 live service games. And then they said, we're still working on 12, but we're only focusing on 6 right now. Concord, there's Marathon, there's a bunch of stuff, right? So all these things have happened now. So here we are in 2025. A couple days ago, about 5 days ago, they canceled 2 more games. So these are all the live service games that they've had, okay, or they're being delayed or whatnot, right? So this is it. There might be a different list. I got this off of Reddit. So let's look at this, okay? So we had, okay, it says, due to the news of 2 more live service games being canceled today, it made me wonder what games has Sony canceled in the last couple of years. So I thought I'd make a list to enjoy. Let me know if I missed anything, right? So it says Helldivers 2, right? So that came out. Helldivers 2 came out. MLB The Show, that came out. Gran Turismo 7, that's out. Okay, Concord got shut down and canceled. Still in progress, okay? These are the games that released. So Helldivers, MLB, Gran Turismo, and Concord. Concord failed. So there's 3 live service games, okay? Now, obviously, they're missing, I believe they're missing Foam Stars. Foam Stars was a live service game. That was a first-party title game, was it not? Okay, what's going on, Haley? So then we have Marathon. Marathon's still coming out, hopefully, it's coming out in 2025. We have Fair Game, okay? And then we have the Horizon MMO from Guerrilla Games, unknown release date. And this was created 4 days ago. And since that time now there's rumors that the MMO is being canceled as well. So this is another one that might be canceled, okay? Fair Game and Marathon are both PvP game type of stuff. So we'll see if they make it. One's an extraction shooter. I'm not sure what Fair Game is. I think Fair Games is also an extraction type of thing. It's like a sort of like the finals. It's like a competition of, get the money and get out type of thing. Then there's a game called Gummy Bears from Unknown Studio, formerly under Bungie, was spun off into a new studio back in August of 2024. Okay, then there's an unknown live service game from Jason Blunden, former of Devastation, left in November 2022, was supposedly scalped by Sony, and also well-served former Devastation game staff to work on another game. Devastation didn't do very well. Okay, so these are the games that are canceled now, right? These are the games that we know that no longer exist. One, obviously, Concord, okay? Not canceled, just closed. Okay, then we have God of War live service game from Blue Point, okay? Dev since 2022, canceled in 2025. So that's 3 years of money thrown into a game and then canceled. Then we have a sci-fi live service game from Ben, dev since around 2020, canceled in 2025. That's 5 years of development, money getting thrown in there and then canceled. Okay, then we have Twisted Metal live service game from Fire Spirit, developed, previously worked on Lucid Games, moved from Fire Spirit before being canceled in February 2024. So we don't know how much time was spent in that, but that's another game canceled that they just threw money into. Okay, Last of Us multiplayer live service game from Naughty Dog since 2020, right? Canceled in 2023. That's 3 years of development time, canceled for that. Spider-Man live service game from Insomniac dev team since 2019, according to leaks, canceled sometime in 2022. That's another 3 years of development time thrown into there that they're canceled. An unknown live service game from Devastation, dev since 2021, canceled May of 2023. Studio shut down March of 2024. That's gone. That's the one up here that we didn't know about. Okay. Operation Payback from Bungie, dev since 2022, canceled back in 2024. That's 2 years. Okay. It was thought to be Destiny 3, which is not Destiny 3, but that got canceled after 2 years. More money thrown into that. Don't forget about the money they put into Concord, which is about anywhere between 300 and 400 million after Concord took money other than that to put towards Concord, but not from Sony, right? And then they have a fantasy-like live service game from London Dev since 2022, canceled in February of 2024. Studio shut down afterwards. So canceled games. We have Concord, God of War, a live service sci-fi game from Ben, Twisted Metal, The Last of Us. Okay, that's 5. Right? You got Spider-Man. You got an unknown sci-fi, and Operation Payback, and then you have a fantasy live. That's 9 to 10 live service games that were being worked on that are canceled. Okay? They have way more in the background. Okay? Now, obviously, this happens all the time. Now we're just starting to put the pieces together to say, right? I'm sure if you looked at Microsoft, how many games they've canceled, but that's not out in public. This is out in public now. Studios closing down. Companies not finishing out, games just being canceled. So it's pretty crazy, right? So that's a lot of money. And the difference between Sony and Microsoft in this, right? And I say Sony, not PlayStation, right? But difference between Sony and Microsoft is one is a $1 trillion company and one is a $1 billion company, okay? And I know that sounds, right? One is like low billions and the other one is in trillions, okay? So if one company messes up, sure, they're losing money, but it doesn't hurt them as much as someone that runs on thin margins as Sony. Now, Sony has a division for movies. Sony has a division for television. Sony has a division for video games. They have televisions, right? Like, they have a lot of different divisions. Same with Microsoft, okay? But their video game margins, right? This guy over here, Microsoft's just like, here you go. Leave me alone, kid. It's like giving your kids money to go get ice cream or stuff. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, have fun. Okay. Sony needs to know what they're doing, and I think they've put their eggs in the wrong basket. And I said this a couple years ago, saying, you know, they need to make the transformation about putting their games on PC, which they've done. They have to put the stuff where they're doing the cloud, which they've done, right? They're putting the stuff where they're making live service games. And I said, I hope they're not hurting their first-party studios or their IPs, which they are. Okay, so let's see what this article has to say here of Horizon MMO appears to have been canceled. Okay, it says over a year ago, Sony announced a strategic partnership with Korean publisher NC Soft, with the speculated goal being to create multi-format MMO based on Horizon franchise. We've also talked about this in the past, about taking a franchise and just kind of beating it, you know, like a dead horse. You know, very, very profitable, very good sales for Horizon's franchise across the board. But I feel like they're putting way too much pressure on this one franchise compared to all the other franchises they have. All right. It says at the time, CEO Jim Ryan said, partnering with NCSoft advanced our strategy for expand beyond console and broaden PlayStation's reach to a wider audience. Okay. With Sony Entertainment, and NCSoft shares a similar vision in creating high-quality, impactful entertainment experiences for players everywhere, and together we're excited to collaborate to push the boundaries of the gaming further. The game is named both Project H or Project Skyline internally, and was apparently targeted for PlayStation 5 and PC and mobile as part of the PlayStation aims to reach more players. But the game appears to have been canceled as NCSoft falls upon hard times. Now, in a New Year address earlier this month, CEO Kim Takaki Jin, butchered it, sorry about that, said in a statement to staff, let's make 2025 a year bone-crushing efforts with the mindset that we don't turn around by 2025. NCSoft will never have a future. No pressure, eh? Okay. Following a round of layoffs in October last year, a new report of the Korean publisher MTN reveals that the aforementioned Project H has been canceled as a feasible review. Okay, staff will now apparently be transferred to a different project. Well, that's good the studio isn't closing, just the game. It's important to note that the game is not to be confused with the separate online multiplayer version of Horizon confirmed to be in development at series creator Guerrilla. Okay, so that's two separate games. So there's another online multiplayer version of Horizon from Guerrilla. Okay, that game is, as far as we understand, is still very much remains in production for now. So this was a separate title of Horizon. Okay, but Sony has been particularly tough time expanding the business recently. As a live service God of War development of Blue Point alongside the second title of Ben Studios was canceled recently. Moreover, the manufacturer has thus far failed to bring the franchise to mobile, with Smartphone Studio shuttered last year following the acquisition of 2022. Rising costs of stagnated console industry mean PlayStation's exploring new revenues to grow the brands and increase its revenue. But outside of the enormous success of Helldivers 2, the platform holder appears to be really struggling to make anything stick. I just want to highlight this, okay? The rising costs and stagnating console industry, okay? A lot of people argue with me, no, consoles are flying off the shelf. They're flying off the shelf. No, less consoles are being sold across the board in the industry, okay? There's just so many options. People are buying, there's way too many things out there for people to buy, and they're not just sticking with one console. They're spreading themselves out, and then people are overlapping, right? You have people that own a PlayStation, own a Switch, own a PC. People that own an Xbox, own a PC, or own a Switch, right? It's the same people buying the stuff. Well, that's drying up. More people are not. Why? Because there's mobile phones. There's other ways to play games without actually owning a console. Okay, so this is very, for me, I don't care. I'm just a gamer. I'll buy the game if I like the game, if I'm interested in your game. But when people start throwing stones at one company, but another company is struggling to make a live service aspect of a game, Xbox is struggling just as much with live service games. Okay. There was somebody else that comes in my channel. I forget what their name is, but they're always saying like live service is the best thing, right? Live service is making the industry move forward. Well, there's a lot of live service games that fail. Lots of live service games that fail. Okay. They're all looking for that game that could make up for all these other things. And as I always make the example of, just like the movie industry puts 12 to 14 movies out a year for a studio, they only need one of those movies to be a blockbuster. Blockbuster meaning making a crap ton of money so they can filter that down for all these failing projects below. 3 movies, okay, if they make 10 games, 3 of them are going to barely, make profit. 2 of them are not going to make that much profit, and 1 of them is going to make a shit ton of money. Helldivers was that for them last year. Helldivers was only supposed to sell a certain amount. It sold way, way more than they thought it was going to sell, and now that's their horse in that race that they were betting on, okay? All these other ones are like, I don't know. Is it going to make money for us, right? We read an article, I want to say about 6 months ago, talking about how they're all trying to make that 80%, because they can make 80% profit and whatnot with these live service games that are out there if they find the right one, okay? But they have to make a bunch of them to make sure that that's the one that's going to make money, okay? The difference between what they're doing right now, what Microsoft is doing, Microsoft has a platform. They're taking their live service games and they're putting them on Game Pass, okay? Game Pass is a monthly subscription service, where the other ones are putting live service games behind a full-price game or a diminished price of $40, and people are not trying to go towards it because they're not paying that $40. They're not paying that $70 to go towards it. They made a smart choice earlier last year when they had Foam Stars. Now, Foam Stars is not the game that I would have put money on, okay? But it was smart of them for the first month to put Foam Stars on PlayStation Plus because everyone could get the game, and then anyone after the fact, they might pay for it, but they decided not to pay for it. But if they wanted to get it for free for that first month, they could, and then they could pay microtransactions afterwards if they liked the game. What Microsoft does is they take all their live service games, if it's Sea of Thieves or Forza Horizon 5 or whatever it is, it's on Game Pass. The only barrier there is, well, I got to pay $15. I got to pay $12 on PC. I got to pay $20 for Ultimate on console. But there's so many more games there, not just the live service games, and that is a smarter business model, and that isn't what Sony was doing at this time. Maybe they'll start putting their games over on the PlayStation Plus network, and like for all their live service games, instead of charging them up front, but we'll see. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. If you like what I do here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Appreciate you, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. What's going on, Jax? Jax with the $5 super chat says, all those games canceled and the people who made PlayStation good was let go or left, and Herman Holtz was their guy to help them. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. All those games canceled and people who made the PlayStation good was let go and left Herman Holtz. It was the guy who helped them. It's not the same. But what does that have to do with the live service aspect of it, right? He's not working on them himself, though. Thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat. Let me scroll back up and see what you guys are saying. Well, let's see here. There's Hilly, so that's when I said Hilly. So let me go back up. Okay, Clip says Better Hope Marathon does not does good, and that's all I have to say because a fair game looks like trash. Yeah, fair game doesn't look like a good game, right? It just looks like another game that's just going to kind of get lost in the shuffle. State of Decay is awesome. Please just stop. What are we talking about? State of Decay? I'll let you guys talk about that. State of Decay 2 is a really good game. State of Decay was decent back in the day. State of Decay 2 is a fantastic game because of the co-op and what they've added to it. State of Decay 3 should be good, but we'll see what happens when it comes out. We need to know more information about that. Mo says no. Foam Stars is Square. Okay, so it wasn't a first-party title, but it was exclusive to PlayStation, though, Mo. Or I should say, it was exclusive for PlayStation and PC, right? It was on both platforms, PC and PlayStation. So it was a paid for by Sony to get on the PlayStation. Got it. Look it up. Sega made it. Never released. Played the beta. It was all right. Hyenas looked terrible as well. Just another game that would get lost. Morning, Wonder Rose. It's coming soon. Day 1 on PC. I'll go to the left so hard if Wolverine is it. But I think it will be because people already have it playing on PC. Jason says this is all Jim Ryan's projects being canned, thankfully. It makes me wonder, though, Jason, because, and I'm not saying you're defending in any way, shape, or form. Let me make that clear. Okay, back when Jim Ryan was doing this, everyone was praising him. Everyone was praising him. And I was just like, I don't know if this is the thing you want to bet your money on of these live service games. I said, Sony's known for their first-party titles, right? You have more canceled games now, first-party, live service games canceled than you have first-party Sony games that came out in the last 5 years, right? That are not remasters or remakes, which should be worrying for people that praise PlayStation for their first-party titles. Scrolling down here, let's see. A clip says, so why did Sony make a PlayStation Pro, Travis? Just because it's not necessary? Well, they made a PlayStation Pro because they had to go back into the pockets of the people that already gave them money because they were excited about a PlayStation, PlayStation 5 Pro. They were dipping their toes back in the water with the same people that already gave them the money. Argus says they're done with everything doubled down on Game Pass, and the Game Pass is what makes Xbox play anywhere. What makes you think it's dying, going to go away? You're having a conversation with somebody else. Argus says Xbox goals to make it so you can interact with Xbox on any electronic or appliance at the Game Pass is how they do that. Right, and that's the reason it's successful, because they're putting it. It's a subsidizing, or it's subsidizing the cost of the game plus wherever else they're putting it. Because if they put it on PlayStation, they put it on PC. If they're putting it on Nintendo Switch, plus the Game Pass, plus everywhere else where you can pick it up, yeah. No, Wonder Rose is not Dave Rose. Yeah, Wonder Rose is not Dave Rose. Let's see. Jax82 says, what am I saying? What I'm saying is they let go of people like Connie Booth and Sean Layden, who also made PlayStation enjoyable, and it seems they bet on the wrong people to make it happen. Gotcha, Jax. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I just think it's weird, especially, I said they should go live service, but I said I hope it's not in the detriment of their first-party titles, and that's what it seems like it's been happening, and it's been about 5 years working on games that from 2019 to 2022 that they've canceled, and then also games that they've worked on from 2022 to now that they've also canceled. Illy says, I never believe the timetable that the amount of failures canceled games makes me think that they lack quality control and leadership. 100%, Hilly. Leadership is mostly to blame here across the board. Anytime you hear a game failing or studios closing, it's because of leadership. There was a disconnect from the worker bees or worker ants to the upper management to the CEO type of stuff. You know what I mean? there's definitely a problem with management in all of these companies. Roadkill says because they're never going to get to 100 million people in the next 4 to 5 years. I don't want to say never. I never say never, Roadkill. To say 100 million. So what we looked at, and I brought this up like maybe 6 months to a year ago, Netflix had the same trajectory of what basically Game Pass is, and everyone says Game Pass is Netflix. So we brought up, and I'll have to look it up. I'm not going to know if I'm going to do it right now, but Netflix, their trajectory of what they had to where they got to 100 million took them about 11 years. Okay. And Game Pass right now is, I think, year 7, if I'm not mistaken, and it's on the same trajectory, almost to a T, as Netflix. Okay, because it takes time for people to understand what's happening and to adopt it into making it the norm. Okay, as the industry changes, as the industry shifts, and more people are playing digital games and not getting physical games, more people are getting streaming services and not buying the actual games, it's going to exponentially get higher and higher faster. So I don't want to say it's never going to hit. It might hit like 90 million, and you'll be like, well, see, they didn't hit the 100 million, but that would still be 90 million people that have a subscription service. You know what I'm saying? Jason says, yeah, I'm with you, 30. I was totally against the live service trend they were on. I just thought it was weird that they went from 0 to 12. They went from 0 to 60. You know what I mean? Without, and everyone thought that Bungie, remember, right? Hindsight's 2020. Everyone thought Bungie was the answer to this, right? Bungie's sifting through the stuff. Bungie's the king of live service games. They know what they're doing. And then they canceled Last of Us. They canceled this. Bungie's has problems. Bungie's not even who they are, right? So a lot of things have changed in the last 3 years from when they announced live service games to what we are today in 2025. Travis says, 30, we all know who's to blame for this. It's all of the gamers' fault, and at least according to idiots at IGN. He says, when I said 12 new live service games by 2026, I just thought, good luck with that. That's the timetable I didn't believe. Right. And since then, they shrunk it from 12 to 6. They've canceled 9. They've canceled more than they brought out. Sounds like they were building more than just 20 to get there, and you don't end up with 12. Right. They were building, it sounds like way more, because on this list here, we have Helldivers, MLB, Gran Turismo, Concord, Marathon Fair Game, Horizon MMO from Gorilla, Gummy Bears, Unknown, that's 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, you have 18 games here. 18 games, and you have a total of 4 that came out, 3 that still survive because Concord's gone, which is crazy, right? Argus says, especially as the cloud improves, and you can also just stream the Game Pass games on any device at any time, Game Pass will become more popular as well. Right. That's what I'm saying. Exponentially, it's going to get higher faster. Wait, Gran Turismo, didn't the live service of it come out? Gran Turismo is a live service game, supposedly. I haven't played a Gran Turismo game in a long time, Travis, so I can't answer that personally, but I do know that they're constantly updating it. Like, I would assume it's like a Forza Horizon 5, where the store's constantly updated, there's events and stuff that happen in it. I would assume that's what Gran Turismo 7 is, right? Eclipse says, I mean, when they say they're buying Bungie, I figured they were going to make like a TV show and stuff like that happened. Well, they're still doing that. They're still working on that type of stuff. I hope Helldivers 2 makes enough to fund all of this. Well, remember, they only wanted like, what, 100,000 people concurrently? And would they get 400,000? What was the concurrent? What was the concurrent for Helldivers? Let me see. Helldivers concurrent. Yeah, 458,000. It was 4 times, almost 5 times the amount of people they thought were going to be like consistent, right? They were like, oh, we'd be happy with 100,000 people. They got almost 4. They got 458,000. Okay, they're averaging 36,000 right now, 57,000 in the last 24 hours, right? So they sold what total sales? Was it 12 million, something like that? Helldiver sales. Helldivers 2. Yeah, 12 million copies, right? So we're just going to assume that because they only wanted 100,000, right? And again, this is me generalistically saying, right? There's no mathematical equation here. I'm just assuming if they thought they were going to have 100,000 concurrent players, but they got almost 500,000 concurrent players, then 100,000 people would equate to about 4 times less than what they have right now. Well, they have 12 million copies sold, so they are probably only just expecting 3 million copies being sold, 3 to 4 million copies being sold. But instead, they have 12 million copies sold, right? So they doubled, tripled, right? And they'll probably get to about 16 million within the next year or so, all depending on what they bring to the game, okay? So they're making good money off of this. Will that be enough to cover the other games that have been canceled? I don't know, man. Plus the Concord, right? PlayStation 5 Pro didn't sell that well, right? Even though people will defend it, it hasn't sold that well. But then again, we knew it wasn't going to sell that well because it's a niche market of people that already have a PlayStation 5 that wanted to upgrade to the next greatest thing, which is the guys that like to keep up with the Joneses type of thing, right? Which is, I'm not making fun of in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that's the clientele. The clientele is the people that already own a PlayStation, majority, right? Because the people that were waiting for a PlayStation probably weren't waiting for a PlayStation 5 Pro for $700 if they didn't buy the $500 version. You know what I mean? Helldivers on Steam is doing good. Not sure how well it's doing on PlayStation 5. Yeah, I'm just assuming that it's probably a third, right? So if it's 57, I would say maybe it's at like 10 or 15 on PlayStation right now. Do you know what I mean? Posted in general. My first Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo. What am I looking at here? One player, one online player. Game length. My first Gran Turismo free-to-play, beginner-friendly introduction to the world of racing, crafted to bring excitement to Gran Turismo and new players, whether it's present introducing your family or racing other thing. In my first Gran Turismo, players can unlock achievements, completing various funds engagement. So this is not an online game at all. It's only single player. That doesn't make sense. I could have sworn you could play. You can download, play No, you can download and play this content on many PlayStation 5 console associated with the account through the console sharing offline play setting. Also play on PlayStation 5 consoles when you log into the same account. Online features require an account and are subject to terms of service. Accessible and private. Yeah, so you can play online. No, it is online. Yeah, so I'm confused what you're telling me here, Travis. Why you're sending me to this? Right? It's a racing game. It's online that sells cars. Is it not? It has a store where it's selling cars. Akuda Papa says Helldivers 2 isn't keeping up with the 600 to 800 million loss from Concord, plus all the cancellations. Concord as a single loss hurt Sony significantly in their live service market and the market in general. Sure, Akuda Papa. I don't think Helldivers has to make up for Concord. There's other things that they're successful with, right? Like obviously, God of War Ragnarok and the other first party titles that they've sold. If it's the remaster, all that stuff goes. Do you know what I mean? Like when you make a paycheck, right? And you take your paycheck and you take some of your paycheck and pay for your electric and you pay for your rent and you pay for your stuff. It's putting towards all the other stuff. You could keep it. You could keep that money and go, oh, no, I have all this debt over here that I don't want to pay, right? Until you get more money and then you pay it off the way you want. That's the way they would do it, right? I don't want to say it's a one-for-one like Helldivers has to pay up for Concord type of thing. Eclipse says 7 was very live service and people got mad as hell and they went back on it. Well, Helldivers 2's majority of the players were on PC rather than the PlayStation, so they had not released day and date on PC. It would have probably have been considered an average as far as success metrics. Oh, did it come day and date on PC? Did Gran Turismo 7 come day and date on PC? I didn't know. I didn't follow it because I don't really pay attention to that stuff. So Jason says, yeah, 7 required an internet connection to play. That's what I thought. But didn't the producers teach us you can also make more money with a flop than with a hit? That's a very niche. That all depends, Travis. Like you're talking about the movie The Producers, where that's a very niche thing, where their budget wasn't outlandish. Do you know what I mean? Sure, you could do that, right? I said this comment in the past, right? I said if you make a really good movie trailer, like starships and laser beams, and you really hype up the thing, but then when the movie comes out, it's really not anything. It's just the trailer, but just elongated. You could trick people to come in. Obviously, the trailer didn't cost you a lot of money to make, right? To film or whatnot. So you could trick just a few people to come in, right? Let's say it was big that first weekend, but people were like, what the fuck is this? It would get bad publicity, and then no one would come and see it afterwards. But did you make enough money off of that initial group that came in? Then, yeah, you would make it off of a failure. You can make money off of it, right? But that's not what this is. These are gambles from the live service aspect, and they're willing. We read an article. They're willing to accept the gamble of making a live service game to potentially lose, right? It's almost like investing in a movie, right? Most people that invest in a movie, you're never going to see your money made back, right? Think about that. 10 movies are made, 3 movies make money, 1 movie makes a shit ton of money. So the other 7 movies that people invest in, they never see their money. The amount of percentage that you're going to get your money back from investing money into a movie is basically nil. But when you're the right person and you get that one blockbuster, you make a shit ton of money, and you might invest in 5 other films throughout your life, and they'll all lose money. Okay? That's what live service games are. Live service games are like investing in movies. These companies are investing money in these live service games because the potential of them making money is super high if they find the one that works, which will make up for all the other ones that fail, right? Hence why it's a numbers game. Hence why I've said this in the past, right? You could ask one person out and they say no to you and you're like, right? And you're sad. But if you add 10 people out, 1 out of every 10 might say yes. So if you ask 20, you get 2. If you ask 30, you get 3, right? So if they keep making more live service games, one of them has to come out and they can make a shit ton of money if it's the right one. So they're gonna keep doubling down, tripling down into live service. Papa says, "Oh, 30, I agree." I'm just saying right now, they're heavily in debt, whatever, because of Concord and the cancellation of monetarily last year. Was good investors weren't happy with the company, right? Just a movie reference. I get the movie reference, and I'm referencing that to other things. I'm just trying to put it in perspective. That's all. Yeah, they're expensive gambles, but if they find that right one, Argus, like, think about it. Helldivers didn't cost $250 million to make, right? So that's a winner. That's a winner. It cost a crap ton less than any of the other games that they're working on. And if you're making a single player game that costs $350 million or $315 million like Spider-Man, and you have to sell 7 million copies, but you make a Helldivers that cost a fraction of that, and then sold 12 million copies, that's a huge win for them. That's why they're looking for more games like Helldivers. This is why they're making Helldivers into a movie, because that franchise is making money for them. Sarge says the allure of live service money is too much for them not to waste hundreds of millions of dollars. They have to. Right. It's like the scratch-offs, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, we got to... Right, $50. Yeah, we put 50. Right, we'll spend millions of dollars to try to get millions more of dollars. Right, getting that scratch off. It would have to be ultra successful though, with what big games cost to make these days. Not true, because the live service games don't cost as much as the single player games. Argus, right? If they're making, do you think Marvel Rivals cost as much as Spider-Man or God of War Ragnarok or a Halo Infinite? No, not even close. Even if Marvel Rivals cost $100 million or $150 million, it's still $200 million less than a single player game. What did Titan say? Titan said, I didn't expect Helldivers 2 and Astrobot to be big hits. I don't know if Astrobot is a big hit because I think it sold like 1.5 million to 2 million copies. Now, again, I don't know the budget. It might be an astronomical hit for them. I know it's a success because it's a good game, but I don't know if it underperformed because they're not sharing those numbers and whatnot. Akuta Papa says, yeah, Astrobot isn't a major hit. It was a hit, but not a who's who. This is amazing. It's no longer being talked about in the circles. Right, but it's a good game, meaning it'll sell over time, right? It'll be a consistent selling game because people know it's a good game. Rebel Moon is a Snyder proving that fail upwards. Well, Hollywood fails upwards. Here's the thing about in that particular scenario that you're talking about, they look at him because he has visions and Netflix needs stuff, right? So they work together, right? Netflix needs content to put on Netflix, and Snyder wants to make films. So it's a match made in heaven because they're like, yeah, sure. And he's like, yeah, I'll make these movies, and he can pump them out fast enough for Netflix to put on. And they're making the longevity of it is they're making more off of subscriptions than they're paying him anyway, so they're good. Even with the subpar movies. Even with subpar movies. Correct. It's not a big hit monetarily, but it's a big hit for Sony, right? Astrobot is not a big hit monetarily. It's a hit monetarily, but it's a big hit for Sony. Astrobot won Game of the Year. That's more than I can expect. Oh, absolutely, Titan. But all we're saying is a hit and being a monetarily hit is two different things, right? You can have a game that wins Game of the Year, and monetarily doesn't mean it's selling like 25, 30 million copies. But Astrobot didn't cost them an arm and a leg to make. Like look at the movie industry, right? Look at Godzilla 1, right? So Godzilla cost $6 million to make, and it went on to make like that's what you're looking. That's what every producer's looking for. They're looking for that small price tag movie and the big payout. Okay, that is a successful thing, right? Because let me look up what Godzilla made. Right? Is it Godzilla 1 or is it Godzilla 0 or whatever? I think it's. Let me say Godzilla. It's Godzilla -1. Okay. Okay. It cost $6 million to make, and it made $113 million worldwide. Okay. It wasn't in very many theaters. Okay. And it made a crap ton of money. That is a success. You can make 12 Godzillas for the price of what they made like Spider-Man for. More than that, right? 315 million. What is that? That's way more, right? Think about that for a second. So you got 315 million. You can make 52 Godzilla -1 movies for the price tag of Spider-Man. But that's the difference of the amount of money that they've spent. I know we're comparing a movie to a video game, but you see what I'm saying? They're looking for that. They're looking for that golden goose, which is what that is. Numbers in good are not the same thing. I know a game that sold 20 million as a piece of garbage. Let me guess. Is that Elden Ring? Is that Elden Ring? Yeah. Right. And again, this is not shitting on Sony. I'm just saying the gaming industry as a whole, right? The gaming industry as a whole, they're astronomically high. And this is why they're going towards live service games and not going single player games as much, because there's that chance that the live service game is that golden goose that they can get. They're looking for that Marvel Rivals. They're looking for that Overwatch. They're looking for that Apex Legends. They're looking for that Fortnite. All right. So let's go from that story to the next one, which we'll talk about the Battlefield stories here. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Share out the channel. You know, we're a very small channel. It's a live stream. We just banter back and forth. You guys give you conversation. I talk to chat 100%. So share the channel out with other people. If you know any YouTubers that you would think would be cool to also talk on a show, like chatting with, doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if you're watching, if it's video game content, if it's someone that makes leather wallets, if it's a glass blower. It doesn't matter who the content person is. If you like watching them and you think it'd be interesting to talk to somebody and understand how they built their channel and how they do what they do, let me know. Put it in the feedback in our Discord. Feedback is open to everybody in general, or anyone that comes into our Discord. If you're a member, you can come to our Discord and unlock a whole bunch of other stuff. If you're not a member of the channel, you can still use our Discord. There's a general channel. There's a couple of channels that you guys can use, but if you're a member, lots more things open up. And once you're a member, it's always been this way. And once you're a member and you stop paying, there's other access for you regardless, because you paid the one time to become a member of the channel. So ex-DICE developer says that Battlefield fans should temper their expectations, okay? So an alleged ex-developer, DICE developer, has stated on social media that Battlefield is entering a new era that follows a different philosophy. Oh, this is not good. This is not good, chat. This is not good. Following a different philosophy of what Battlefield should be, because Battlefield should be what Battlefield is, not a Call of Duty game. You know what I mean? So fans should temper their expectations, while Battlefield fans eagerly await for more information about the upcoming entry in the franchise. A former ex-DICE developer has important information for them. Okay, the Battlefield franchise is one of the most iconic when it comes to war-themed games. The series has released multiple iterations over the years, covering both iconic historical events and imagined futures. The next entry of the Battlefield franchise is expected to launch in 2025, and EA CEO has stated that the development team behind it is the largest franchise has ever had. The developer had claimed that the franchise will take back back to its roots approach that has brought the three additional studios, EA Motive, Citron, and also Ripple Effect, to help develop the title. Now, a former DICE developer has revealed important information about the franchise in the future. Blue Skies user says, who claims to be an ex-DICE developer, has asked fans to temper their expectations that the new team behind the upcoming Battlefield 6 is almost completely different and worked under a different philosophy. According to Rezible, after DICE imploded, 98% of the people who work on previous Battlefield titles have left EA. God, this is not the way, right? As the Mandalorian would say, this is the way. This is not the way, okay? So 98% of the workforce has never worked on a Battlefield title, okay? They are sure that the game will take a different direction from what players are used to, as EA wants to extract maximum revenue from their players and drive up shareholder value. Oh, boy. This just sounds like a really good gaming experience, doesn't it? Now, to be fair, we know nothing about the game yet, but doesn't this sound like a game you want to play, guys? Right? Doesn't this sound like a game you want to play? Different direction from what players are used to, and EA wants to extract maximum revenue from their players and drive up shareholder value. Yeah, it just sounds like something I want to play, right? So it says, Rezible also claims that EA's new goal is to release a new Battlefield game every year. Oh, no. Oh. No. Every year. Minimal viable product. Okay? With limited single-player content, different seasons, a battle pass, and a Warzone-like mode, turning Battlefield into a live service game.
You blew it!
Oh, God, this is bad. This is bad, chat.
You're traveling through another dimension.
We are in another
A
dimension.
not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous
This
land
is
whose
this is
boundaries
bad.
are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
This is the Twilight Zone. Battlefield into a live service game. It would also include monetization strategies such as cosmetics. They also revealed that some sort of AI commander was part of the experimental features that the studio wanted to add to the game. However, none of this information has been officially confirmed. Yep, definitely not officially confirmed, but we can start tempering our expectations. Okay. Players still don't have an official release date for the new game, but many believe that Battlefield 6 could launch in 2025. However, Resident claimed that there's a long thread that players won't see a new entry until 2026. Live service games are very popular nowadays. Very popular, right? So popular that Sony canceled 9 of them, right? They're just live service games are so popular right now. Okay, remember, regardless if you put out a live service game, you have to have people play your live service game. They actually have to like it, right? And if everything's a live service game, when are you going to have time to play all of these live service games if all the live service games want you to play their live service game all the time? Well, you can't. So, you know what this means, chat? I'm gonna start making predictions here. I can see the articles now. Okay, I can see the articles now. Battlefield 6 or whatever the hell it's going to be called is riddled with bots. I can see it now. People found out that they're playing bots. Why would there be bots in Battlefield, the next Battlefield? Well, because all the rest of the players are playing all the other live service games out there, and the pool of players is not rising. It's just being muddled, right? Muddied, I guess, because everyone's playing some other game that they're playing. Okay. It says live service games are very popular nowadays, and they offer ongoing, up-to-date, new content, bug fixes. Oh, is that considered live service? Is the bug fixes part of the live service now? Seasonal events and community engagement, and plenty of things to keep games fresh. However, they have also been controversial. I think the bug fixes are part of the controversial, as many consider them to be simply a way to profit from games, stripping them of the original value. Whether or not reasonable claims to be proved to be true, it remains to be seen that Battlefield will evolve in how players will receive it. Well, I'll tell you what, I can tell you how I'm going to receive it. We will try it, because if it's a live service game, I'm hoping it's free. And if it's a free-to-play game, oh, God, free-to-play Battlefield game. A free-to-play Battlefield game, that's what it's going to be, right? They're not going to charge full price for a live service game, are they? This could go completely wrong. Oh, yeah, it's EA. EA is definitely going to be charging $70. If it comes after Grand Theft Auto, and everyone in the industry is like, they're praying. They're like, please, Rockstar, can you please charge $80 to $100 for your single-player game so we can charge $80 to $100 for our standard edition? Like, they are praying that Grand Theft Auto comes out with their $100 version so everybody else can see, well, see, they did it, so we could do it too. This is bad news across the board for Battlefield, okay? I love Battlefield. Battlefield, okay? Battlefield, to me, is one of my favorite franchises of all time, right? And I have a song. I'm not going to play it. I have a song about Battlefield and how it took 18 months to fix the game of 2042, okay? Will it ever get back to its yesterday, okay? No. No, Battlefield is long and gone. The people that made Battlefield made the finals with the fully indestructible environment. Battlefield will never be Battlefield again. Just like Call of Duty will never be Call of Duty again. Call of Duty is grown-up Fortnite, and Battlefield is trying to be Call of Duty. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe if you like what I do here. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Chat, this is bad. This is bad, chat. First Transformers not coming out, and now Battlefield is turning to a live service game. Now, obviously, 2042 was basically a live service game, but it was a shell of what Battlefield was. Okay, now they're just going full-on Battlefield game, right? Not non-Battlefield game, live service game. Altern says bug fixes makes a live service. Yeah, that's what it says. I mean, that's what he said, right? That's what he says here. Let me see. Yeah. Live service games are very popular nowadays as they offer ongoing updates with new content, bug fixes, and seasonal events. Bug fixes is a feature of live service. That is a feature of a game incomplete, and they're fixing it because the company should fix it. Amazing. Eclipse says, and there's different games, first of all, but they still Delta Force is good. And if you want to play a Battlefield, I'm thinking about playing Arma 4 Reforge, but we'll see. Hilly says a free to play Battlefield game. Yay! Hold my beer. Yeah. Altered says if every game costs $100, I will just finish my backlog. Right, and you know who wins from this, Altern? Exactly, Mo. Exactly. Game Pass looks really good. I said this months and months ago. If the prices keep raising for games, Microsoft is like, yeah, make that $100 game. Make that $100 game. Because they'll win either way. They'll be like, $100. People are like, oh, I'm going to that live service aspect of Game Pass, the subscription service, not live service, the subscription service of Game Pass. And if they don't, they're paying $100 for the game, right? Have they not learned from 2042? I'm gonna wait and see. Titan, they learned plenty from 2042. This is what they learned: that they could give you a broke, buggy, unfinished game, and people will give them full price money for it and wait, and then say thank you once they fix it 18 months later. That's what they learned from 2042. Akuta Papa with the second gifted, or not gifted, sorry, with the second super chat says, have you played Delta Force? I have not played Delta Force. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat. That's 2 of the 5. If we hit the 5 goal, okay, I have a Travis song I created for you guys. X Factor says, what's good, everyone? What's going on, X Factor? Sarge says, wait, they want to make Battlefield a live service? Is that for real? Yeah, that's what that's. Well, I can't say it's for real, Sarge. It's a leaked information. We don't know if it's actual real. It's grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. Hilly says, same Altern. I have about a lifetime of games I haven't played or finished. Yeah. Bug till field. Altern says Armor Reforged looks fun. Yeah, it looks fun. I was talking to Sarge about it the other day. I might pick it up. I'm doing some more research on it. See if I would like the game. It's very slow moving. Hilly says Daisy. Oh, this is Hilly's daily pitch for Daisy. He's like, 30. Let me tell you about this game called DayZ. Was a mod born out of Arma, right? So 30. You're so close. DayZ is soon, baby. Yeah, he's thinking that I played DayZ like way back. I played DayZ. I'm not gonna play DayZ. I'm good, but keep trying to pitch me on it. I don't want to say I'll never, but probably unlikely. Hilly says, I got so many games from buying humble bundles. I still have Gears 5 untouched from the bundle. I can also install it anytime and finally play it. There's a movie called Delta Force. Yeah, it was Chuck Norris, Ron. It's a fantastic movie, right? All I remember, I close my eyes right now, there's like Jeeps and motorcycles, and they're like driving, and they have like the colored smoke coming out the backs. Yeah, great movie. Mr. Luke says 10-hour free trial, then wait to see till it's free on EA Play / Game Pass. It's true. That's what I did with 2042. 2042, I still have 6 hours of the free trial hours, Luke, and then it came out on Game Pass, and then I put about 80 hours in, I think, to Battlefield 2042. I had fun with it, but 18 months afterwards, you know? Dolphin says DayZ will make you punch a wall. Is that on the box? Is that on the box, Dolphin? They're like, DayZ, it'll make you punch a wall. Billy says it's change. You can change. Everyone can change. Did you just do a Rocky quote? Billy, did you just do a Rocky quote? If I can change, then you can change. Then everyone can change. Adrian! Fucking Rocky quote. That's fantastic. You know what? I might have to get the soundbite for that. I might have to get the soundbite for that. Do you like how I got that, huh? You like how I got that? Sarge says, bro, can we play Halo tonight? Because I'm going out to dinner with my cousin tomorrow. Your cousin? My cousin, too. She has schedules all week. Yeah, we can play tomorrow night. Wait. Tonight. Play tonight, not tomorrow. Yeah, we can play tonight. There you go. Shooting the shit with Sarge tonight. Some Halo Infinite tonight. Clip says, I hate it all for Battlefield fans, but I'm kind of glad that Battlefield is going to be a live service, so maybe companies like Respawn can make non-live service games. So wait a minute. I think you just turned it into Travis for a second there, Eclipse. You want the game to be live service, so you want them to burn and die so they can respawn to make non-live service games. Yeah, if you get out early, let me know. If you don't get out early, I'll play something else, and then we'll just skip it and then play something else on Wednesday. Travis says no, 30. Yeah, the box says DayZ when there's nothing else to play. Oh, I thought that was Starfield. I have so much respect for you now. Let's see. I'll play tonight if there's room. I've lost all hope for Battlefield long ago. Yeah, I know. It's sad. That's what that song is that I've created. This song right here, I'll play it in the background. That's why I made it like a cowboy song.
Once a franchise standing tall,
like listen to it.
A king upon the field. The hype was real, the trailers made the fans believe and feel. But then came the launch. Oh, what a bitter fight. A broken game, a shattered name, left stranded in the night. No scoreboard, no classes, just chaos in the storm. Promises of glory.
This is a truthful song here.
Was far from norm. Oh, the maps were wide, but the hearts were small. Battlefield 2042, how could you let us fall? 18 months to fix the pain. Patch by patch, but the scars remain.
Right? Patch by patch, and the scars remain. They completely butchered Battlefield. Okay, that is. You're supposed to drink beer and sorrow your pain away. There. That's what that song is about, right? Argus says, I lost all hope in Battlefield long ago. $2 or 12-month support. Appreciate that. Thank you very much for renewing your membership. Also, Argus, let's hear that Travis song for $2 super chat. We're 2 away. If there's something I could tell you, it hits Travis to a T. Okay? Only 3 of 5. It's coming. Uh-oh. There you go. Argus doesn't say anything. He just says 4 of 5. Okay? 4 of 5. Dolphin says this makes me want to drink a beer and drive a tractor. I mean, you could do it. You know, I'm making so many good songs now. My son, I have a playlist on my phone, and when we go around the car, okay, he's like, can you play your playlist? My playlist, okay, is his go-to songs now, okay? Billy says, I do have to work around the EA and others, like Battlefield 2042 was almost free to play. I paid $2.99 in the Steam sale, played it for about 20 hours, had fun, and it wasn't broken. Yeah, but you waited 18 months. Yeah, you waited more than 18 months. Yeah. Argus, 5 for 5. Travis song. Play that in just a second. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat, the $4, the $6, the $6 super chat. I appreciate that. That's such a country song. Instead of losing your dog, you're losing your game. See, Eclipse? You're understanding the way certain music is being used in this channel, right? Like, we're using that song like it's my dead dog. But it is Battlefield, right? Or you lost a loved one. Okay? That's how much Battlefield meant to me. Okay? Mr. Luke says, new Marvel Rivals event coming to look into the Marvel Rivals Discord. Just announced. All right, we'll look at that in just a second, but we have to play the Travis song. Okay? Now, Travis, it's all in good fun. Okay? Bit of respect in the song, bit of poking fun of you. Okay? So here we go. Because we hit the goal, we got a Travis song here for you guys. Here it goes.
There's a guy named Travis, he's always around. In the chat, throwing takes status down. Elden Ring, he says it's overhyped trash. But Mass Effect, now that's his stash. He's a Sony booty, loud and proud. Even when Sony's got him down, they took his games, left him in the cold. But Travis still defends them, oh so bold. Travis, the king of hot takes. Hating what we love, he claims we're all fakes. When Marvel Rivals starts to reveal, he's reporting more than he's trying to heal.
Oh, beautiful, isn't that?
You're all wrong, he says with a smirk, while his opinion drives the rest berserk. Elden Ring's bad, and that's a fact, and he doubles down, no turning back. He's the self-made critic, the contrarian knight, with the Sony shield and a trollish might. Marvel Rivals, he plays the game his way, but every fight there's a report to lay. Oh, Travis, the king of hot takes. Hating what we love, he claims we're all fakes. When Marvel Rivals starts to reveal, he's reporting more than he's trying to heal.
That's right. He reports more than he tries to heal in Marvel Rivals.
Of shade. In Travis's world, it's his rules that are laid. If you disagree, oh, prepare for the fight, because Travis always knows he's right. But deep down, we love the guy in chat. Even if he's swinging a verbal bat, for every bad take, there's a laugh or two. Travis, we'd be bored without you. Oh, Travis, the king of hot takes. Hating what we love, he claims we're all fakes. Sony took your games, but you're loyal, it's real. And you'll report us all while forgetting to heal. So here's to Travis, our contrarian friend, with your fiery opinions that never end. We roll our eyes, but we're glad you're here. Our salty king of the gaming sphere.
There's more.
He's the master of debates, the sultan of shade. With the Sony shield and a trollish might light. Marvel Rivals, if you go alright, but we're glad you're here. Our salty king of the gaming sphere.
There you go. So, thank you very much for the super chat. There's the Travis song. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It's pretty good, right? Come on now. Come on, Travis. Not that I care if you like it or not. I thought it was nice. I gave some shout outs to you and also, had some fun. Yeah, because yesterday, Dolphin, you're like, I should make a Travis song. I was like, you know what? I think I am going to make a Travis song. It's a polka song. Weird Al would be proud. I wanted to make it fun. Like, I didn't want to make it like a punk song or anything. I thought it was where it was just like the ukulele playing. Hilly says, wait, these stupid companies almost do give you the game. They don't respect the products, so they don't. If the game launches finished, it will pay. I will pay, but if not, many of them. Yeah, that's just it. If you pay for the game, if it's broke, they win. And if you wait, then you win, right? Obviously, if you like a game so much you want to play it, then have fun with it. But you got to know that when the game comes out, like a Battlefield or like a Cyberpunk, that it was broke and buggy when it came out, and they win when you purchase a broken, buggy game. Robert Jones says, did I miss the Battlefield? I did a Battlefield story, but we're going to watch the Battlefield video right now, which is the Dice dev claims the original Battlefield devs are long gone. which is sort of, I think, based off the article, but I want to hear what this guy has to say, and we'll banter back and forth off of this. All right. So here we go. This is from Ghost Gaming. From Ghost Gaming. Is there a person in our chat called Ghost Gaming? Is that a different Ghost Gaming, or is it the same Ghost Gaming?
Back to another video, and finally we have some Battlefield here on the channel, although I do wish it was more positive news. An ex-DICE developer by the name of Risible claims that the original Battlefield devs are long gone and that things are going to drastically change.
The fact that, what they say, 98% of the developers are not there. Now, we talked about this in the past. I didn't think it was 90. I think it was 80% at the time. So now they've added another 18%.
For the Battlefield franchise. He has a lot to say here, and I think this is some important stuff to go over. And
I think this is the same article.
Was obviously at the studio for a long time, so he knows a lot about what happened with the devs there and how.
Wait a minute. You forgot my love for Ubisoft. I'm sorry. Do you want me to rewrite? You want me to do a rewrite?
How Vince Zampella and Laura Miele came in and really turned things around. So if you're a Battlefield fan and you care about the future of the franchise, stick around.
This guy make a song about you. Now you're like,
around for the rest of the video because this definitely concerns you. If you do enjoy it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. I know there's been a lot of Delta Force here on the channel in recent times, but later on this year, the next Battlefield game will inevitably start to pick up steam, and then I will be, of course, back to Battlefield again later on in the year.
This is why I like Battlefield, though. Like, I love the wide open maps. I love the air combat. I love the ground combat.
Yeah. So most of this is going to be directly quoted from him, and then we're going to discuss.
We should play Battlefield 1, Sarge.
Discuss what he has to say here. So he starts this post off by saying the Battlefield section from EA's Investors Day has started to generate sparks of hype for the new game. It'll certainly be different because 98% of the people who made previous Battlefield games have left EA. Let me.
I can't believe that 98% of the staff is gone. So there's no veteran Battlefield devs surrounding the fucking idiots, making me think of my work. Yeah,
Explain.
There's nobody there. It's the blind leading the deaf. In a Battlefield game. Now, to be fair, I don't know what they're making yet. But when you tell me, like, imagine me telling you this: our next Battlefield game is our most detailed Battlefield that the devs have ever worked on before from the Battlefield series. And they're all veterans in the Battlefield game. Or we're making the next Battlefield game, and nobody that's made no one that worked on this Battlefield game has ever worked on a Battlefield game before in their entire life. Be like, what sounds better?
Imploded, and this new crew is trying to build things back up. So going back to the glory days of EA, he goes on to explain that Patrick Soderlund, who was at the time DICE's...
Travis says, or not Travis, Dolphin says Battlefield 1 still has players. I played it last night. Nice.
CEO, orchestrated the acquisition with EA, and he was rewarded with a big paycheck and promoted to be the head of all EA.
And let me make this clear. I'm not saying that the devs that are working on Battlefield are not people that have never been devs before, right? Maybe they're skilled and they're very good at what they do, but they've never worked on a Battlefield game before. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully it doesn't come down to, well, we told the developers not to play the other past Battlefield games because we didn't want to taint their minds. You know what I mean? Type of thing.
EA game studios worldwide. So he ran these studios out of the DICE office for 14 years, and he was sort of like DICE's guy, and he could therefore protect the studio from EA and stop them from messing around with DICE and whatever they were working on. And clearly, because Battlefield games were doing pretty well, they'd released Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, which were all successful Battlefield games. For the most part, EA just sort of left them alone. He says that strong EA leaders...
When did that plane come in? I haven't played in a while. Was that plane always in it?
Protect their studios, and weak ones get micromanaged to death. And that is the reason that
a strong EA leader protecting the studios, and the weak ones get micromanaged to death. The reason that is so many EA studios have fallen apart, BioWare, Maxis, PopCap, etc. DICE survived longer than most because Soderlund favor protection them, and EA's most exclusive. Yeah, so
So many of EA's studios have fallen apart. For example, BioWare, Criterion, Maxis, and that DICE has survived longer than most because Soderlund's favor protected them from EA's more intrusive meddling. Let me just say, it's absolutely insane that if you work with EA, you actually have to like protect yourself from the publisher coming in and meddling in your product and your company too much. That sounds like a pretty raw deal to me. So the general manager of DICE.
Here's what's happening, right? Guy walks in, he's like, "Hey guys, I'm the new CEO of the company, and I'm here to tell you what Battlefield's gonna be. You know that game called Call of Duty and Apex Legends? We're gonna make a game just like that." And they're like, but yes, you. Yeah, but Battlefield is not those. Shut up, you're fired. Who's next? Anybody else think this? Anybody else think this way? All right, I'm getting back to it now. Yeah, we're going to make Battlefield exactly like Call of Duty. Warzone and Fortnite, they're all making a lot of money, and we're going to make that money, so get to work, right? That's what's happening in Battlefield right now.
At this time was Patrick Back, whom a lot of you will be familiar with. He was the executive producer on Battlefield 3 and the general manager during Battlefield 4, and he left DICE. Now, this guy says that publicly this was a mutual parting with Soderlund, wishing Back well on future endeavors. Within the studio, though, there were actually rumors that Back was kicked out due to inappropriate behavior. Now, what that means, I have absolutely no idea. After that, Soderlund's new pick for general manager was Oskar Gabrielsson, who was, of course, the general manager when Battlefield 2042 released. And at the time, he was most known for being the founder of a studio called Uprise, who were acquired by EA, and most notably, they built...
Oh, he got rocketed. That was good.
The Battlelog app, which of course we know from Battlefield 4 and 3. Now, he takes over as general manager when Star Wars Battlefront 2 was well into development. And unfortunately, neither he nor Soderlund recognized the game's design flaws that ultimately, of course, led to its incredibly controversial launch. We all know the story with that game. But since he was new, Soderlund was basically able to shift the game to Patrick Back and sort of eat some of the responsibility directly. So Battlefront 2 was the first serious monetary hit for Soderlund under EA here, and this is the first time that EA sort of start to look to.
Yeah, Battlefield 2 wasn't a very good one. He says, we fight every day here at Microsoft to keep our veterans. It's very sad. We need experience for solid play management dummies. Yeah. Thank you very much for the 16-month support. 16 months. We're going to keep that up there for a little longer. 16 months. Thank you very much.
Towards DICE and say maybe something may be going awry. Then, of course, we got Battlefield 5, which didn't go well here either. Soderlund in that particular title, he took more of a direct role overseeing the game's vision and the execution, and this also happened while BioWare was filing on Mass Effect Andromeda, and we all know that Andromeda launched to pretty embarrassing reviews, bad sales. It was not a Mass Effect game that really held up the franchise by any shape or form. And so because of that, he doubled down on personally directing Battlefield 5 to ensure that it would be just as big as
Battlefield 5. Pretty good after 18 months, right? Do you see the running joke here, right? It's not me just saying 18 months. It's literally after the game comes out, and 18 months later, Battlefield 5 was a better game. Battlefield 5 is a good game, but it wasn't a good game when it came out. 2042 is a decent game now, but it wasn't good when it came out.
Battlefield 1's record-setting launch, which of course it didn't turn out to be. He says that in 2018, Soderlund regularly reviewed playtests and tech demos, pulling producers and designers into his office to lecture them on how to build the game the right way.
Hold on a second. Okay. He's reading it, but I'm going to read it. Before I read that, I'm going to read Hilly. This is RIP Battlefield, remember? With a smile. Thank you very much for the 13 months. 13 months support. Appreciate you guys. Okay, it says, in 2018, Soderlund regularly reviewed playtests and tech demos, pulling producers and designers into the office to lecture them on how to build the game, quote, the right way. Okay, gameplay, physicality, visceral sense of being physically impacted by the chaos around you was on the biggest mandates, one of the biggest mandates. This sounds like a person that actually Soderlund loved the Battlefield series.
gameplay physicality, the visceral sense of being physically impacted by the chaos around you, was one of his biggest mandates. The Battlefield 5 team was sent into a physicality push to update games' production values to create a stronger sense of realism. This push took resources away from creating critical path content needed to finish the game. Aspects of
which was then finished later, 18 months after the game came out.
The physicality focus are on full display in Battlefield 5's very hated, non-traditional reveal trailer. The trailer also revealed the previously unaddressed disconnect between Battlefield 5's World War II setting and the game's wacky monetized cosmetics.
Oh, yes. Exactly right, right? And that is the problem right there, right? There's games that you think about that you can make and go, oh yeah, we can monetize this in a way, right? But this is a World War II simulator. That's what it is, okay? And it addressed the disconnect between the Battlefield 5's World War II setting and the game's wacky monetized cosmetics, which is just stupid.
Now, it's important to remember here that Battlefield 5 was the first game to launch after EA's pivot to live service games, and that DICE was told they could no longer sell DLC packs, so good luck getting any of those in the future, guys. I guess that's just not going to happen. And they were monetizing only now via non-gameplay impacting cosmetics, and after Star Wars Battlefront 2's controversy,
like in a World War II game, it doesn't work. In a Star Wars game, sure, right? For certain things like the clone trooper stuff, which they did, where they sold like the different clone trooper outfits and whatnot. But you could have monetized it in a better way instead of doing what they did. Cut content, make it cosmetic, make the bundles and stuff.
DICE was afraid of live service games. Now, after fans
yeah, they were afraid of live service games, and now they're full-fledged in.
Kind of rejected the Battlefield
Good old Android Wilson
5 trailer, Soderlund then gutted the wild outfits in favor of historically accurate but also bland cosmetics, which didn't really sell as well, I don't think, and he also doubled down on the physicality features, trying to position Battlefield 5 as beautiful, realistic, and a return to World War II. At the end of 2018, Battlefield 5 missed its ship date by a month and ultimately shipped a classic, unfinished, we'll fix this in the live service game. And Battlefield 5...
And that is the worst mentality to have. Make a game, sell a game. Nope. Make a game partially, and then we'll fix it over the next 2 years, 3 years.
Went on to become the worst-selling mainline franchise game in history. So 3 flops in 3 years was enough for EA CEO Andrew Wilson, and Soderlund left EA...
I couldn't tell you what gun that is, Ron, because I didn't play enough to tell you.
Right before...
Maybe a Kuda Papa could tell you.
For the Battlefield 5 launch, and he shortly founded Embark Games, which you will be familiar with for making other games like the Finals. So DICE's internal protector and Oscar's senpai had now left the building, and Oscar dodged the blame by saying that Soderlund had been overruling the studio during Battlefield 5's development. So now that Soderlund had a brand new studio over at Embark Games, 15 minutes from DICE, he started poaching talent. He got DICE's head of content and art, he got the head of operations, the head of R&D, and one of their senior creative directors.
Here's the thing, right? So he left, took a bunch of talent with him, and they're not making another Battlefield game. They wanted to change it, right? They worked on that for years and years and years and didn't want to work and make another Battlefield game. Hopefully after the finals, whenever they're done with the finals and their next game that they make, they need to make a game sort of like Battlefield again, in my opinion, right? You're good at what you do, right? If you're a guy that does floors or does walls, you want to do something else, but you're really good at putting walls up, or you're really good at the floors. You know what I mean? Like, you're good at what you do. These guys were so good at making Battlefield. They left Battlefield to go make the finals. A lot of them left the studio to go make that stuff. And I like it. I think the fully destructible environment in the finals is great, but I don't like that type of game. I don't like that smaller map. I don't like that the smaller team type of thing. I want large scale battles. I want to pretend, okay, that I'm a kid in the backyard playing with my army men or GI Joe figures in a large scale battle warfare. Okay, that's what I want to do. And Battlefield was that game, but Battlefield is not that game anymore.
leaders also saw this as a good time to leave, and they went to places like Ubisoft. The new Embark leadership then started hiring their former teams, pulling over tons of artists, game and engine devs, and operation folks. It's worth noting that Embark did not get designers and producers from Battlefield. Soderlund's meddling in Battlefield 5 created bad blood within the core Battlefield.
Yeah, but the problem with that, I know you're saying that you had fun with Arc Raiders. I like what Arc Raiders was. I don't like where they're going with Arc Raiders, right? Arc Raiders now is an extraction, is it not?
Team. So that's what happened right before development of Battlefield 2 starts. They basically have a mass exodus of developers, they have a mass change of managers. So now with DICE reeling from this talent attrition and a reduced budget, Vince Zampella and Respawn are the new top dogs in EA's non-sports portfolio, and Patrick Soderlund has now been replaced by Laura Miele.
I have a question though. Didn't Respawn's different than what he's in charge of LA DICE, is he not? Isn't Zampella in charge of EA DICE? He came from Respawn. Respawn's doing the Star Wars games, right? Where LA DICE, Zampella from Respawn moved over to DICE. Isn't that what it is? It's Respawn is not making a Battlefield.
So DICE is told to focus on Battlefield 5's live service while the Battlefield Brain Trust designs the next big game, free from Soderlund's intrusive oversight. The remaining old-school Battlefield crew delivers Battlefield 5's War in the Pacific, while the newer guys iterate on what will become Battlefield 2042. And for what it's worth, the War in the Pacific expansion for BF5 was particularly good, I think. So Battlefield 2042 then launches in 2021 and underperformed, as we know, versus EA's expectations. There are many reasons that it underperformed, and he says here he could write another...
Well, yeah, it underperformed because it wasn't done. It was glitchy, buggy. The maps weren't done. You fixed the maps over the next 18 months. You didn't have a scoreboard when it came out.
Lengthy post about this, but fundamentally, DICE failed to align the game's contents with what their audience wanted, which is of course 110% true. 2042 also suffered from game engine technical challenges linked to simultaneous development for Gen 4 and Gen 5, so that's like PS4 and PS5 for example. But regardless, 2042 was DICE and Oscar's final chance, and once it failed to deliver, EA cleaned
Nice
house.
move.
And that is of course what we saw happen straight
That was a Battlefield moment.
after the game launched. Oscar Gabrielson announced that he was leaving the studio, so as I thought and assumed, he got fired. And we also saw other management there. Fawzi Mesmar, like the Candy Crush guy, I have no clue what he was really doing there in the first place, but he also left. Now, the business people at EA have always looked longingly at Call of Duty and the gazillions of dollars.
Of course they have. And that is the problem. Stop chasing what other people are doing and do your own thing.
That it makes annually. And then they look at Battlefield and they ask, why can't you be more like that? So
Yeah, Kylo, we talked about that in the very beginning of the stream.
Battlefield 2042's performance gave Vince Zampella and Laura Miele their dream opportunity to turn Battlefield into Call of Duty, he says. In 2021, Oscar was asked to leave. He was replaced as the DICE general manager by Rebecca Kutaz, a former Ubisoft GM, and at the same time, DICE hired COD's GM, Byron Bede, to join EA as Battlefield.
Great. So you hired the Call of Duty guy to come over to Battlefield. Guess what he's going to make?
GM. And control of...
He's going to make what he knows. Just like I said, if you're really good at something, right? If you're really good at something, you're going to make that, okay? The artists don't want to keep making the same thing, but if you get picked up from another studio, like, hey, you work for Call of Duty, you know, how did you make Call of Duty so well? Why don't you produce that over here? Well, what's he going to make? He's going to make what he knows, and what he knows is Call of Duty.
Battlefield was then transferred to Byron in LA, and DICE was told that they would join a group of Battlefield studios. EA also at the same time hired Marcus Leto to build a new studio in Seattle called Ridgeline. So apparently the plan for Ripple Effect, DICE and Ridgeline was to build Battlefield like Infinity Ward Treyarch and Sledgehammer build Call of Duty, presumably with...
This is why they have the 3 studios working on Battlefield. All hands on deck now. All hands on deck now to make this one game. And then once they're done, you're going to get a Battlefield from Motive. You're going to get a Battlefield from Citron. You're going to get a Battlefield from... And this is what they're going to be doing. They're going to do exactly what Call of Duty is doing.
with one game every year. And then Industrial Toys was supposed to make a Battlefield mobile game. Now, with so many developers already having left, the loss of the franchise control, the Call of Duty conversion plan, and Bede and Leto's attitude towards DICE drove out the remaining old guard Battlefield devs. Alex Grundle, the previous head of Battlefield, went to Embark, and a large chunk of Battlefield creative and production staff formed TTK Games in Stockholm. And we all know, of course, a couple of years ago, Lars Gustafsson, one of the original creators of Battlefield, he left the studio and he went to become the CEO of TTK Games. We don't yet know what kind of game they're working on, but I'm definitely interested to see what they've got cooking over there. So the pandemic and our wild global economy seem to have negatively impacted the original Call of Duty conversion plan. Industrial Toys was closed in January 2023 along with their version of Battlefield Mobile, and Ridgeline never opened post-pandemic, and Marcus Leto seems to have left EA in 2024 on bad terms. So
Jesus, the whole towers just fell.
he continues here saying the goal is to build a new Battlefield game every.
This is dilution. This is just diluting what you have. This is put it out, fix it over time, worse than it has been in the past. Right? The goal is a new Battlefield game every year. I think EA has a roadmap to achieve this, but we won't see the next game until 2026. If they stick to the vision, we'll get a full-priced main game with limited single-player, season battle pass and live service slop, a free-to-play mode like Warzone. Here, I can do this one.
Come on, let's keep a little optimism.
Keep a little optimism. Okay.
Every year. I think EA has a roadmap to achieve this, but we won't see the next game in 2026, so they are going to take a 1 year off there. If Bede sticks to his.
What do you mean 1 year off? They literally have taken 4 years off. The last game came out in 2021, didn't it? Didn't Battlefield 2042 come out 2021?
Vision, we will get a full price.
Or was it 2022?
Main game with limited single player, seasons, battle pass, and live service slop, as he calls it, and a free-to-play mode like Warzone. Wild and crazy monetized cosmetic content is the ultimate goal, and they will push that towards the player base as fast as they can without generating too much negative sentiment. Pay for the game every year, and pay for the battle pass, and pay for the skins. I bet Battlefield Mobile is on the roadmap, but not this year. They believe they need to repair the brand's reputation by focusing on core gameplay that.
Great. I can't wait to get killed by Snoop Dogg in Battlefield. I can't wait. I can't wait for all these skins that they're going to bring into the game that really bring it to the next level for Battlefield.
People want. This means a modern day setting and conquest 24/7. They'll also drop 2042's operators and return to soldier classes. Well, we already knew that stuff. So if you're a Battlefield fan, he says, temper your expectations. This is a new era of the game made by a completely new group of people following a new philosophy. Whether that's good or bad depends on your
personal outlook. Right now, my personal outlook looks dreary.
Personal outlook. TTK Games is where most of the old Battlefield talent now works. I know what they're making, but I haven't played it. I can't speak on how close or far it is from a spiritual successor. If you know Embark, then you've probably tried the finals. Beautiful production value and Battlefield-like destruction.
Right.
So basically, whatever TTK Games is cooking up sounds pretty promising. EA leadership, Wilson, Mealy, Bede, and Zampella, all of them are corpos through and through. They want to extract maximum revenue from their players and drive up shareholder value. They make games to make money, not the reverse. So I thought that was very interesting and insightful there. Obviously, that is just all of this person's words. I'm not exactly sure who.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Look, I might like it. I might have fun with it, right? We're playing Marvel Rivals right now. It's a free-to-play game, right? Free-to-play game, and it's a fun game to play. And there's monetization with the cosmetics but that IP is a big selling point. When you're doing a military sim or a military game, what cosmetics am I going to be excited for? How many cosmetics are you going to give me? Where now you're putting celebrities in the game, and you're going to give me what, Santa Claus again? Santa Claus is going to come in the game, and I'm going to be super excited that I'm running around as Santa Claus. in the game. You see what I'm saying? One works for one company, one doesn't work for the other company. Meaning, I'm playing a military-esque sim game now, and you're going to monetize me with battle passes and season passes, and what is that going to bring? What is that going to bring me? And I know I'm speaking for me myself. Like, what are they going to give me that I'm like, oh my god, I got to get this skin? Because what the Battlefield is when I'm running around, I want to know who I'm shooting at based on their uniform. And if their uniform is Russian, or if their uniform is Ukrainian, or if their uniform is German, if their uniform is American, whatever it is, I want to know what it is so I know that's the enemy. But now I got to run around looking at, oh, well, this guy's got Snoop Dogg's skin and or this guy's got whatever. That kills, for me personally, okay, that kills the game for me, right? Luke says Season 1 G.I. Joe. Well, look, if it's G.I. Joe, that's a completely different aspect, right? If they brought G.I. Joe Battlefield, I would be excited. I would buy a Duke skin or a Scarlet skin, right? But if they don't do stuff like that, Luke, it's so generic. Like, why do I care about their season pass or battle pass? What are they going to sell me? Stuff they've taken out of the game and put into season pass?
Who they are, but I don't think you could really make up most of this stuff. It sounds like it could possibly be a disgruntled employee that left on bad terms and sort of wants to throw EA under the bus here. And
sure, it could be, but at the same time, he could be someone that's like, oh man, I joined EA and Battlefield because I wanted to make that game. He loved that game. But now when he got there, all of a sudden they're changing it to make it more like Call of Duty. And maybe this guy didn't like Call of Duty, and that's why he got a job at EA to make Battlefield.
DICE in general. But yeah, this sort of excites me and worries me in equal parts. On the one hand, the possibility of getting a Battlefield game every year, well, that worries me because they haven't even been able to put out games.
Hilly says, you can find a Santa hat in DayZ. You don't have to buy it. If someone kills you, they could take the Santa hat. Much better system. You're really selling me. You're really selling me on it.
Every 2 or 3 years and have them actually be good, functional, finished products. So how can we expect them to put out such a product every year? On the other hand, as a player, and certainly as a content creator, I would love nothing more than to have a new Battlefield game every year and something fresh to...
Oh, of course. Let me go from that aspect. If you're a content creator making content exclusively off of either FPSs or Battlefield itself, this is a gold mine for you, right? This is a gold mine for you.
Go at something fresh to make content on. As for Battlefield becoming more Call of Duty, that definitely worries me a lot. Battlefield is its identity. I think they really just look at the numbers that...
Wait a minute, what did he say there?
For Battlefield becoming more Call of Duty, that definitely worries me a lot. Battlefield is its identity. I think they really just look at the numbers that other games put out.
That's the problem. They lost the identity of what Battlefield was.
You know, EA is like Battlefield, like Apex Legends, and they think Battlefield is capable of getting those same numbers. But that just isn't always the case. Sometimes the first person to get there kind of wins. They gobble up all of the player base, and in order to get...
That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen where you take all of the player base. Never going to happen. There's too many games that are similar or doing all the same thing. And now it all really comes down to the IP, right? Let's look at it this way. Let's take Battlefield and make 5 separate games of Battlefield that we just talked about, right? They're all Battlefield games. They're all doing the exact same thing, wide open spaces. One, you have Battlefield, but it's Marvel. One, you have Battlefield, and it's DC. One, you have Battlefield, and it's Transformers. One, you have Battlefield, it's G.I. Joe, and then you have Battlefield, right? You have 5 Battlefields. All of them are IPs that you know except Battlefield, which is just generic characters, your army men, and a Battlefield. Where do you think the player base is going to go? Well, all the Marvel guys are going to go to this Battlefield, and all the Transformers guys are going to go to this Battlefield, and all the G.I. Joe guys are going to go to this Battlefield, and all the player base is never going to go to one Battlefield if there's a IP that they're interested in, and they're going to go play that Battlefield because they're all the same. They're all doing the exact same thing. You're all capturing the flag, the same exact thing, okay? But now you want to play a game that you're interested in, meaning I like this IP over that IP, and that's what I'm going to play instead.
Get those players to switch franchises, to switch over from Call of Duty and make Battlefield your main game, you really do have to have some insane kind of hook to go at there. I believe Battlefield already has a pre-hook, which is just the Battlefield formula in and of itself. This amazing...
That's right. The Battlefield formula is the pull for Battlefield, but they get away from it, and then less and less people play Battlefield because they're like, it's not Battlefield. But they're like, what do these players want? They want Call of Duty. You see how big Call of Duty is? They're like, no, we're playing Call of Duty because Battlefield's not Battlefield.
Sandbox experience. I don't believe you can really truly experience it anywhere else, and as much as I enjoy Delta Force,
this guy's a good pilot,
it doesn't really feel quite the same to me. But I just hope that EA's expectations for the franchise don't ruin it any more than they already have. So guys, leave me your thoughts.
Buckle up
On this down below. I would be very interested to hear what you all have to say about this. What do you think about the future of Battlefield? For me personally, of course, yes, it is difficult to hold the hype back, and when we start seeing trailers and getting information, of course, that excites me, as I'm sure it does you. But at the same time, I am trying to temper my expectations and not get too over the top excited about the new game, because I am acutely aware of the fact that this could, again, be a massive flop for the franchise. I'm really crossing my fingers that that isn't the case, but I guess we will find out in due time.
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be a flop for the franchise. See, that's the difference, right? Battlefield is going to bring in the people because they're always going to try out Battlefield. They're like, oh, well, this is the one this time, right? This is the one this time. But is it? Right? People get it, and then they'll do the exact same thing they would do to 2042. They'll get it, they'll be like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. And they'll be like, oh, this is not really that good. This is not really good. But they already got your $70. They already got your $80. So they don't really care. Go check out Ghost Gaming. Ghost Gaming in the description down below. Check out his stuff. All right, we already got that. The next stories we have is all about Marvel. Marvel Rivals. Okay. It's all about Marvel Rivals. As I get the stories prepared for you.
The fight's begun. A universe of heroes, we rise as one. From Capsule to Widow's sting. Each legend here makes the cosmos sing. Throws the storm, lightning cracks the sky. Strange blends of
I did not watch the About stuff, Travis.
Hulk's rage and doubles, unstoppable force while Panther prowls, holding his course. Marvel Rivals, the legends unite in a clash of titans. Day turns to night.
Okay, sorry about that. Widow doesn't have a sting, 30 according to you? Well, it's true. Well, the song was written before we knew that. All right. And at this point... I'm
here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
We don't care.
Jerry.
Good? All right. So Marvel Rivals could officially surpass Overwatch with this rumored feature. Okay, with this rumored feature. All right. Marvel Rivals has been taking the game world by storm these past few weeks, providing massive competition for other titles in the hero shooter market. While greatly added by its easily recognizable characters, Marvel Rivals fixed many of the problems with the predecessor in the genre, while providing a unique and fun-filled gameplay experience for players of all skill levels. Now, while it's too early for Marvel Rivals to be continued to be the golden child of Overwatch-inspired hero shooter, there's one rumored feature that could solidify it and place at the top of its charts. Okay, while it's not too surprising that Marvel Rivals would launch in first season, not long after release to better capitalize on players' excitement, it offered a shocking amount of content right off the bat, introducing a fantastic force, starting out with 2 of the new heroes, alongside with 2 more on the way in the season progression. Okay, Marvel Rivals is off to an incredibly strong start already, while uncertain if Marvel Rivals will be able to keep up with the same level of quality in each season. It's already a significant advantage, even without the rumored feature. Now, Marvel Rivals is rumored to be introducing a new PvE mode. Okay. So why noting concrete, why nothing is concrete, sorry, has been confirmed just yet regarding the PvE mode for Marvel Rivals. According to rival leaks on X, a PvE mode could potentially be coming to the hero shooter sometime in the future. While the author notes that there's unsure if the idea has been scrapped or not, as experienced before the full release of Marvel Rivals is an incredibly exciting prospect to consider. Okay, given that one of the main selling points behind Overwatch 2 was the inclusion of fully dedicated PvE mode that will never came to fruition. Marvel Rivals is adding a working PvE mode would be a massive blow to the competitor's reputation. I like how I said this months and months ago. Months and months ago, I said, if Marvel Rivals wants to just kill Overwatch, all they got to do is add a PvE mode. And this would bring in way more people to come into the game, the people that don't like PvP games, right? So you can play a PvE game mode right now by just playing Practice AI, but none of the stuff you do during Practice AI goes towards your stats or anything like that. You can do your dailies and weeklies inside there, okay? But man, would it be really cool if you could come in, if you don't like the PvP aspect of that game, you could just take your characters, level them up, and put them into a PvE access or PvE content, okay? And then just level your characters up that way as far as going them from knight to lord to, centurion to whatever, okay? And you can level up and get to know the characters that way. Put some story content with the characters, like I said before, with the comics, where each comic cell is like a story campaign for each of the characters. And if you have a PvE content in the game, now again, I'm saying this is not what this is saying, that the comic could be a story-driven thing. So if you like Luna Snow, if you like Spider-Man, if you like Mr. Fantastic, you could purchase that comic for that character. It unlocks more cosmetics and stuff, and the sprays and the banners and the titles, okay, while you're doing story missions to get that content, and you're playing just in PvE, which would be huge, okay? It says potential PvE mode for Rivals. Okay, some time ago, I informed the source they also experienced a PvE mode in the game. Today, found a tag suggesting PvE might still be in development. It's unclear, though, if this feature has been scrapped or if it's planned. So even without the potential PvE mode being added in the future update, generous event rewards, seen as the first official season of Marvel Rivals, is already proving tough to beat. With Overwatch 2's players count in media attention being an all-time low with the release of Marvel Rivals, it wouldn't be surprising the remaining players jumped ship to try the hero PvE mode, and they waited years for in a different game. That's right. Okay, they can actually pull the other Overwatch people that have been waiting, right? And like I said, they should have launched with this. If they launched with this, everyone would be playing this game. Everyone, right? There's a lot of haters out there because they just don't like Marvel, or they don't like that Marvel is successful right now because they don't feel like it should be, okay? But it's a fun game, okay? It says, what will Marvel Rivals PvE mode look like? Okay, given that Marvel Rivals already includes a player versus bot mode for quick play, the idea of the dedicated PvE mode isn't too difficult to imagine. While it's unlikely that the future PvE mode will simply be heroes fighting off against each other in standard maps, there's plenty of potential for the developers to choose from. While Dr. Doom's army of endless robots is an easy choice to start with, future seasons could introduce different enemy types as part of the limited time events, similar to the expanded versions of the Overwatch 1 Halloween event. Okay, if Marvel Rivals or the Marvel Rivals universe is jam-packed with factions and enemies to explore, from hordes to Dracula vampires, Ultron's legions of robotic hosts, or even invasion of the Skrulls, they can be taken to appearance of playable heroes. Regardless of which enemies Marvel Rivals decides to focus on with the rumored PvE mode, the developers have already shown they're capable of experimenting with new game modes. Can you imagine? Could you imagine if they added something along the lines of like what we played in Marvel's Avengers, where you were playing up against AIM, or you're playing up against Doom, or you're playing against Ultra Bots, you're doing missions like that, but in this game, with these characters, with this art style, that is the best case scenario that they could make for this game, that the people that were Marvel Rival or Marvel Avenger fans, that they fucked up, not making it a looter, just making it a fun game to play while you're playing your superheroes and leveling them up, right? That would be amazing if they did that. Okay, so while the PvE mode can be an excellent way to mix up the standard gameplay loop of Marvel Rivals, it would also be a great introduction for players less confident in their skill level, letting them make the game a much less stressful environment. Yes, because there's so many people that don't want to play this game because it is just PvP. Okay, they don't want to play bots, but they also don't want to, because nothing happens in that game mode. There's nothing to earn except for your dailies and stuff to go up the battle pass or whatnot. Okay, so your dailies and weeklies can be completed there, but nothing else happens, right? You don't get any information to go towards, like, if you're leveling up the proficiency. Okay, so I believe this is, yeah, this is the rest of, yeah, okay, we'll read the rest of this. It says Marvel Rivals could exceptionally more characters than Overwatch. While there's also speculation that Marvel Rivals is going to drastically tone down the number of characters released after Season 1, Marvel Rivals developer have already claimed that the plan to add new heroes at a much faster pace, adding roughly a new one character every month and a half, whether that Marvel Rivals includes a rumor of PvE mode at some point. The ability to add drastically higher number of characters is already a major attraction for the players. Can you imagine still adding all these characters and also adding a PvE mode where you get to play and be all of these different characters? It would be fantastic, right? While there's also arguments that will be made, releasing characters on such a frequent basis can do more harm than good for game longevity and competitive viability. This can also be adjusted in the future as players' demand changes. I'm so confused by this, right? And I know a lot of people that are in the competitive scene, they're like, oh, too many characters could ruin the meta. It would make it better, because then there would be people mastering characters that you didn't master, and then it would have to make adjustments and change the ways that people are being competitive, because there's a bigger pool and not everyone's mastering people. There's still people playing the game 25, 30 hours after with one character and still not knowing what the character does, okay? For the majority of the players. We're not talking about the 1%ers here. We're not talking about the Shrouds of the world and Tim the Tatmans of the world. We're talking about the normal player base that's outside of the top 500, okay, that are still trying to learn the characters that they've played for a month and a half now, okay? So Marvel Rivals developers have already claimed that they plan to add new heroes at a much faster pace. Compared to Marvel Rivals, Overwatch has had a drastic lower number of heroes since the release, averaging roughly 3 to 4 additional characters per year. Although Overwatch has gone multiple spans of years releasing only 1 or 2 heroes, if any at all, while it's true that Marvel Rivals has a significant advantage with nearly limitless pool of pre-existing characters to choose from, adapt into a roster, it doesn't devalue the excitement that the new characters and abilities add to the game. Could Marvel Rivals mark quality shift into the hero shooter genre? It's no secret that hero shooters market has been overly saturated for more time now, with the failures of Concord and other new releases making it seem like there's a little hope for new entries in the genre. Despite the stigma, Marvel Rivals earned over $100 million in the first month, $136 million, rocketed not only hero shooter genre, but the gaming community as a whole. Compared to mixed success of Marvel Rivals' other games ventures, the sheer quality of the wide array of content offered by Marvel Rivals offers a surprisingly fresh experience despite its similarities with Overwatch. Even with the lack of role queue and competitive scene, Marvel Rivals has managed to capture the core concept of made hero shooters and enjoyable in the first place. And that's what the biggest thing is, right? So Marvel Rivals skins aren't the cheapest on the market. This is my biggest complaint about it, right? You lower that price point, you would get more sales. You get more sales because someone looks at a $28 skin like, you lower that $28 to $14, you're going to get more sales, okay? Being an excellent deal for players willing to put in the time earned if it's also a free version. While the Battle Pass won't fully refund players its cost, the rewards are more than worth the price, especially given the number of side missions completed for more than vital chrono tokens. If Marvel Rivals continues to foster goodwill with the community alongside with the rapid content additions, it could easily overtake Overwatch popularity in its prime, although Marvel Rivals' update player count shows it might already accomplished it. Okay, so there's that one story. The next story that we have is that Marvel Rivals leaks reveal a Ghost Rider is on the way, but not the one anyone wants. Now, I don't know what this means. If it's a certain character that it says a new Marvel Rivals leak have revealed that Ghost Rider will be joining the game as a new hero in the future update. Following leaks of Ultron and other new characters, one leak claims that recent comic book character The Hood will be added to the game. Marvel Rivals Ghost Rider isn't the one you want. Oh, so it's not Ghost Rider, it's the Red Hood, right? Or the Hood, not Red Hood. Which I think we covered, didn't we? Yeah, the Hood. Yeah. We already knew about this, so I don't need to read that. Marvel Rivals fans have one major issue with quick play. Okay, one major issue with quick play. Marvel Rivals players are asking NetEase Games to change the way quick play losses are counted when joining a match late. With the launch of Season 1, Eternal Nightfalls, Marvel Rivals has added its first new heroes, Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. Players looking to get their hands on the Human Torch and the Thing won't have to wait much longer. Expected the heroes to be released in mid-season update. Quick Play is one of Marvel Rivals' core modes in which 2 teams of 6 players face off against each other and complete objectives. Many players consider Quick Play to be casual mode, while competitive has a higher stakes, with players ranking up as they accurate more wins. Gamers who achieve higher ranks in the competitive are also given free rewards, such as a skin of Invisible Woman in the Marvel Rivals. Fans aren't given any specific rewards of engaging with Quick Play, but some people use the mode as a low-stakes way to learn new heroes and complete challenges. That's exactly what you should use it for, right? To learn new characters in Quick Play. In a recent post on Reddit, Crazy Nose 4289 shared a video in which they joined a quick play match so late that it couldn't even pick up a hero before it ended. Unfortunately, the player joined in losing side at the last moment, and the match was counted as a loss in their stats. Some fans commented that the gamer earned a free 400 XP, while also noting that the experience doesn't help players level up the battle pass in Marvel Rivals. Many found the humor in the predicament and stating that the win and losses don't count for much in quick play, unlike competitive. Others emphasize with the player acknowledging the marked loss feels unfair. I don't know how I feel about this, because I've been on that receiving end of joining a game and getting that loss. I honestly don't care if it's a win or loss in quick play, right? I'm also not paying competitive. Sure, at the end of the day, like at the end of my stream, right? At the end of the stream, I look back and see what we did, after 4 hours of play. Did we get more wins or losses? But other than that, I don't look at it and go, oh, it's on my permanent record, I would have better. I get it, though. I do get it. Like, maybe if you, maybe under a minute, right? Maybe they put some sort of timer or something that if you're in the match for less than a minute, then you don't get the loss. That way, if you happen to matchmake, come into a game, and it's at the loss at the end, it doesn't count for you, perhaps. But I really don't think it's a big deal. Marvel Rivals players dislike joining the match in its final moments, right? Which is understandable. Gamers were split on NetEase Games could solve this issue without compromising quick play as a casual mode. In Marvel Rivals competitive mode, new players are unable to join a match once it's begun. So if a player drops the team, it will be permanently down a player, or a match will end prematurely. In contrast, quick play constantly tries to fill a spot once a player has left. This leads to a situation in which someone might join at the tail end of a losing battle. Yeah, but it also joins. Is anyone complaining if they join a match and they happen to win? Which is probably less likely, because who's dropping out of a game if they're winning? You know what I mean? This leads to a situation in which someone might join the tail end of losing battle. Some players suggest that nobody should be allowed to join the game in the final moments. I agree with that. That's actually a good fix. Like, you just can't, right? If someone leaves you dry and high, then, or high and dry, I should say, then they shouldn't fill that. And it should know that. It should say, like, no matchmaking with under a minute. You know what I mean? And then if it goes to the next point, like if the team gets it under the minute and it goes back to the next point, then it opens up the lobby again. I don't know how they would do the coding and stuff behind that, but that's not me to figure out. Some players suggest that nobody should be allowed to join the game in the final moments, though others noted that it also can be hard to tell how long a match may last if it goes into overtime. Right. But if it's under a minute, maybe the game should just say, no one can come in, no one can fill. Okay? Which is unfair. Which, sorry, it's just, that's what it is. But then as soon as they get the point, if they get the point, then it goes, it's open again, and then someone gets fed in. I don't know. Could be. While many gamers content with the current state of the popular hero shooter, some fans feel that NetEase Games should work on balancing the roster more. A large portion of the community seems to believe that Moon Knight has become overpowered in Marvel Rivals, suggesting that the developers should release a hotfix to nerf the hero ultimate ability. Despite a few balancing issues with the current roster, many fans are also looking forward to the addition of Human Torch and the Thing later in Season 1. I don't think they need to nerf it. I think a lot of people need to start learning to, when you see his cross, start to look and notice where it is, because if you get that off of the map or off of the board, he's not going to do as much damage as you think he's going to do. But because people are starting to get good with Moon Knight, they can place it up high or in a place that you don't know on the wagon that you're pushing, and you guys think nothing's happening, and he's just hiding and just destroying you. don't nerf anything because people are not being aware, right? Mr. Luke posted something. Mr. Luke posted something in Marvel Rivals section showing people 5 things that you need to shoot that people don't shoot at, right? Shoot at Magneto's ball, shoot at the squirrels, shoot at Moon Knight's cross, right? You got to shoot at these things, but people are not doing these things. So they're like, oh, he's OP, I can't stop it, right? And it's like, stop bitching and start learning, right? Stop bitching about these things and just start learning to take it out. So instead of fighting the guy that you're fighting, if Moon Knight's cross is on the ground, start to shoot the cross and not shoot the guy that's in front of you, because in the long run, you're going to die because the cross is on the ground from Moon Knight. But these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. What do you think about the PvE game mode coming, if it's coming, okay? And what do you think about this getting tossed into a game at the tail end, and if it counts as a loss or a win? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. We do have another game mode that they, I believe, they announced. Let me see here. Here comes the Dancing Lions and the Clash Marvel Rivals welcoming Spring Festival, and you invite to join the celebration. All right, what's this? Okay, so this is a new game mode called Marvel Rivals is welcoming a joyous Spring Festival, and you're invited to join the celebration. And await you with Spring Festival, a new limited game mode called Clash of the Dancing Lions, a gallery of card customization event, fortune and colors, unique rewards to claim, including Star-Lord's free costume, nameplate, and much more. Spring Festival, the Golden Lion main guide for fortune, and also bring the strength of the season. Join the celebration now and let the magic of the Spring Festival unfold.
Attention team, Black Widow is...
Let me back this up.
The Iron Fist awaits your command.
Attention team,
She looks too much. No, she looks fine.
Black Widow is combat ready.
Need help? Call Star.
That's cool. That's a cool skin. Oh God, they made a soccer event. They made a soccer event. We're fucking playing, what's it called? The car game. I can't think of it.
Dragon Kick.
Widow style.
Rocket League, thank you. He does look like He-Man crowded, but it's the Gladiator Captain America. I'm a little confused though. It's winter, not spring. I guess it's spring for them over there. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's spring for them. I mean, I'm thinking of in America, but you know. What else we got here? All right, let me see if any other stories are happening on Twitter. We have quite a bit of games coming out in Game Pass. So Game Pass, right? We got Lonely Mountain Snow Riders coming soon, which I believe is coming out today. Yeah, available today. Then you have Flock coming out. Gigantica Rampage Edition, which is a game that came out like 6-7 years ago, which is back out. Another hero MOBA type of thing. Magical, you got Tisha on the 22nd. The Case of Golden Idol on the 22nd. Starborn on the 22nd. Eternal Strands on the 28th. Orcs Must Die on January 28th. Shades Part of Me on the 29th. Sniper Elite Resistance on the 30th. Citizen Sleeper 2 on the 31st. Far Cry New Dawn, February 4th. Diablo Season of Witchcraft available now. Wait a minute. The DLC for Diablo is on Game Pass now? No. Is this on Game Pass or just on The Mystery of the Tree Whisperer, Stole Hands, Heartsing Witchcraft, complete the season journey and earn, not just on the season, okay. Valorant, Xbox Game Pass perk, Throne and Liberty, that's a free-to-play game. EA Sports, UFC 5, Bruce Lee bundle is available, included with Game Pass Ultimate, War Thunder, Enlist Ultimate. Yeah, lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Star-Lord skin looks cool for free. I mean, yeah, some of the skins they're doing for free are really good. I mean, that door skin's really cool. Let's see here. What else do we got? Switch to release window. I'll be honest, I don't care. When it comes out, it comes out. Fighting on the island is especially. Oh, here you go. You got King Kong. I guess there's a skin. King Kong, and he's got a monkey glove. He's got the monkey glove. If they're not charging $80 for the monkey glove, they're not doing it right. The Lawless Frontier is a vast desert landscape in full surprise. Check out Tatooine. So is they're coming out with something for Star Wars Outlaws? They're still doing some content for that. Battlefield, this week in Battlefield, Frontlines unlock. Like, here you go, right? We are, I mean, Battlefield is a live service game, right? This is what you're getting right now. Frontlines unlocked, Conquest of Ages, Tank, and then Fast Conquest Friday Night Battlefield, right? So you're getting all this. Look, it's already there. They're already conditioning you for what the next Battlefield game is going to be. Already conditioning you. Nope, it's only $18 for the skin and the monkey glove. Shame. Yeah, they're not doing it right, Eclipse. They could have easily charged an additional $62 on top of that. Could have easily got an extra $62. A proposed tariff on imports from Mexico to U.S. could result in fewer disc-based games being released and a higher software price, both physical and digital, according to the market research. Well, there you go. We'll add that to the GXG stories. Right? You're going to have to raise the prices. And again, imagine, got to raise the prices of video games because of the tariffs. So guess who wins? Guess who makes out like a bandit? Because those games will come out on Game Pass. What else we got here? Unknown 9 deemed a failure as developer cancels future projects. That's another story we can talk about maybe tomorrow. I don't even remember. I don't even remember that game. Balatro sold 5 million units. They sold 1.5 million after the Game Awards. World says, I can't buy games if they raise the price by that much. It's already $97 for me after taxes being in Canada. Right, but that's what I'm saying, Worlds. Like, so the higher, so people are talking about Grand Theft Auto 5 or 6 coming out, and that they're hoping, the industry is hoping that Rockstar comes out with higher prices because then the industry can raise their prices. And I said, well, if the game prices keep rising, if it's 70 now to 80 and 80 to 100, then Game Pass is primed for people to go, well, I'm not paying $100 for a video game. I'll go get Game Pass. And they'll pay a monthly subscription for that because it's cheaper. And you're getting, 13 games that are brand new day and date if it's third party or first party. Sarge says that they make it sound like the game or like your game is going to cost $30 more because of the tariff. Yeah. Yeah. That's how they want you to think it works. Yeah. If it's $100 American, I'll be like 130 here. I would absolutely only do subscription. Yeah, or sales, right? Or you would go PC, right? Because PC would be cheaper because they do sell them for cheaper on. You can literally never buy a brand new game ever and be content with all the stuff that's in the backlog. Not even your backlog. I'm just saying games that have come out in the past years that no one's ever tried because there's so many games that come out every single year. Dustin says, I'll probably pay $100 for GTA 6 anyways. It's the most anticipated game of the year. Yeah, but Dustin, that's not what we're saying. You could pay $100 for a game right now because it's a special editions, whatever. We're talking about standard edition. The industry wants Grand Theft Auto to come out with a standard edition $100 game because if they do it, then everybody else can do it. You see what I'm saying? They're waiting for them to set the tone, even if it's $80. If they raise GTA 6 to $80, then everybody else is like, well, Rockstar did it. We're going to charge the same exact thing. That's the problem. Right? Because think about the value of what Grand Theft Auto has been in the past and what they charge compared to another game that doesn't have anywhere near that same kind of content, and yet they charge the exact same amount. Create the problem, sell the solution. Yeah, that's it. And that's why I think Xbox has seen the future, and that's why they're like, yeah, even if they raise that, and they even works out better for them. Because if Game Pass costs $20 now, but games go up to $80 to $100 per game, they could raise it to $25. They could raise it to $30, and it's still a better deal, right? It's still a better deal than buying a $100 game. Crowd says, I'm not going to pay $100 for the game. It all depends on what game, right? You might only buy one game a year, and it might be that $100. That's going to be a hard sell for a lot of people. It's going to be a really hard sell if it's a $100 game. There'll be people that buy it, but it's going to be a real hard sell for the majority. But then again, if you're selling one $70 game, and now if you sell 10 $70 games, but now you're only selling 3 $100 games, do you know what I mean? They're selling less games, but they're making more money, type of thing. Or 7 people buy it instead of 10. It's going to suck. But it is what it's going to be. The market bears what the market bears. If people keep buying the games, then they'll keep doing it. Why do you think they charge $28 for a skin? Because there's people that buy the skin. Argus says, no, it's not going to be hard to sell for me. That Monster Hunter Wilds coming up. Right. And if they decided to say that Wilds, Monster Hunter Wilds is $100, would you pay for that, Argus? I think people would, right? A majority of people, not majority, a minority of people would pay for that. Right? If you're excited for a game, you're gonna pay for it, right? Because they look at it now. Now the standard edition's $100, let's say, but then the extended or the gold or silver levels like $120, $130, $150 now. Let's see here. What's this? I think it's funny that they have added the Rocket League thing inside Marvel Rivals. Because didn't they do that in Overwatch 2 like years ago? They're literally just straight up just taking what's the other game did. Or Overwatch also, not in Overwatch 2. It was Lucio Ball, right? Is that what it was? Sarge says, tell me why I have to buy a $100 game day one. You don't, but people do because they don't want to be spoiled or they want to be the person that says that, what the game is. It's going to be a really hard sell, though. I mean, that meme needs to pop up on the screen, right? It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for them. If they come out and they start to think that they can charge what Grand Theft Auto 6 is charging. Yeah, they could 100%, Argus, lower the price by half, minimum half. And they would make more sales because people would look at it and go, that's $28. But if it's 14 or 10, more people would buy. They buy 2-3 skins, right? A person that's buying one skin right now for that price might buy 3 skins for characters they're using. Let's see. Doesn't look like anything else is major news. Some of the stories we could talk about in the next couple days, and also during GXG. You're a person that's watching this and you're over on Twitter, we do appreciate you, or X. We do appreciate you watching. If you want to come over to the live streams, you can always come over to the live streams, talk and chat. We do appreciate you hanging out. If you're here for 1 second, 1 minute, or 1 hour. Luke says, I'll get a hard copy at game second or third hand. Right. Someone buys it for 100, then sells it to GameStop for 20. Or actually, they can't. And that's another thing, right? You won't be able to get second and third hand anymore, Luke, because everything's digital. That's slowly coming down and more. Where you have to get digital. Then when you look at digital games, they still charge full price for it. That's another way they get you. You don't have to get it day one, but if you don't have a physical disc, you're not going to get it cheaper because they're not going to give it to you cheaper until they tell you it's cheaper. Argus says, now I wouldn't pay $100 for any old game. There's also a few games I even consider that for, and that's because I'm able to pay it. All the other games that aren't worth it can kiss my ass. You see what I'm saying? Like, everyone thinks, oh yeah, well, I don't need to buy a game day one. But even if you wait month one or year one, that game is still full price because it's digital. Hey, bro, did you do a feature on stream about the Battlefront 2 mod? I did not. I never brought up the Battlefront 2 mod stuff. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I can bring that up tomorrow. The Kyber stuff. I don't think we watched that on live, did we? Also, if you're a person that's watching over on Twitter, if you come over to Xbox or if you come over to YouTube and give that hit that like button, it helps us out. Small channel growing. We're here Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We also do a podcast on Wednesday nights called Chatting With when we have guests, and we do a Thursday podcast called Generation X Gaming, which is pretty much every Thursday. We're about 48 episodes a year, between 44 and 48 episodes a year of 52 weeks. So miss a couple weeks. We do podcasts, uploads, live streams. We're very consistent. 10 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Thursday. And then we do night streams for gameplay. We do Wednesday, shooting the shit with Sarge. And then we do Thursday. So tonight you want to play some Halo, Sarge? Tonight we'll play some Halo Infinite. Continue the campaign. Argus says, if a game is worth me buying it for $100 on day one, then I'm never buying it for $100. It will remain unplayed by me at that price. Yeah, that's the problem, right? You buy a game, if you have a backlog, that's another problem, right, Argus? If you have a backlog and you're paying $100 for a game and you're not going to play it right away, then what's the point of paying full price and getting it day one? I think certain games could charge. Like Grand Theft Auto 6 could charge that much, for sure. But doesn't mean like NBA 2K26 comes out and they can also charge that. That's the issue. Nothing else. All right, so today we covered Marvel Rivals, we covered Battlefield, and we also covered the Sony stuff as far as the more games being canceled as a live service aspect from Sony. So if you missed any of that stuff, you can go watch it, rewatch it, rewind back to those things. We're going to be done for the day. I do appreciate you very much for coming out and hanging out with us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, to play games with Sarge, maybe. If we play tonight, we're going to be playing Halo Infinite. If he's not on tonight, we'll play something else, but we will be playing something. We do appreciate you very much. Crowded House says paying $100 for a game only to fall off after 5 to 10 hours because another game gets my attention ain't going to work. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, House. That's why I said I think Game Pass is just going to exponentially get higher and higher as these game prices keep increasing, right? All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Thank you very much for the super chats today. We got Travis's song. We got it out for you guys because of your generosity of the 5 super chats. We do appreciate it very much. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty tuned in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Laughs and news, our winning blend, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments, rolling chats arrive, the daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun below. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Come on in, your morning fix. Your morning